Welcome back. Nice to see you again. And today I thought I'd like to say something about the fragrance of some of these orchids, because I've got quite a few different orchids in bloom at the moment which are very fragrant, and each has its own fragrance. So sometimes people are disappointed when they think they smell they put their nose to the orchid and they don't detect any scent, and then they're like, oh well, it's not fragrant after all. So one of the reasons can be that they're not fragrant throughout the whole day, and I find that the best time for detecting the fragrance is in the morning. So around 10-11 o'clock in the morning most of them will be fragrant. So if your orchid's not fragrant, then check it at different times of the day, and especially in the morning, and you might be surprised that it is fragrant after all. The other thing about orchid fragrances is, well, fragrances in general, I guess, is that we really lack the vocabulary to be able to describe them very well. So it's kind of frustrating, because each of these orchids in front of me here is quite fragrant, and each one is also quite different. But it's quite difficult, it's quite challenging to describe the differences. But anyway, I'm going to do my best. So let's take a look at the individual plants and their fragrances. So this is the very beautiful Paphiopedilum delineatio. This is the roseum form. It's a darker form with really beautiful intense colouring there. And this one is a double header, so it's got two flowers on the one peduncle. So I got this one about 2 years ago as a freebie from Assendorfer, together with an order. It was a tiny little seedling at the time, but it's grown very well. Very nice plant. Grew very quickly and matured in 2 years, and now it's putting on this beautiful display. Yes, I just wanted to say something about the fragrance on this delineatio. It has a really nice fragrance. It's like a tea rose type of fragrance, quite powerful. Yeah, maybe the nicest fragrance of any of the Paphiopedilums, although I haven't smelled them all, obviously, and most of them aren't actually fragrant, but this one is really nice in that respect. And this one is Vanda Bensonii. So I've had this one for a year. It's the second time it's flowering. It's very fragrant. So yeah, I quite like the fragrance, although it's not a sweet fragrance. It's more of a savoury, a little bit musky type of fragrance, and very powerful as well. You can smell it from 2 meters away. But yeah, it's a really nice one. Right, and this one is a primary hybrid, a Cattleya, obviously. It's Labiata by Harrisoniana, and it's a pretty compact plant, and it's putting on a really nice display of 5 flowers, 5 medium-sized flowers, I guess, probably about 8 centimeters across, something like that, but putting on a really nice display, and I think it's a nice effect. Yeah, and this one also has a very nice fragrance. Typical kind of Cattleya fragrance, and I've still got the other one in bloom over here, which is also a primary hybrid. This one is Luteola by Mossier, and also very nice. I think it's actually a couple of different plants in there together, because if you look at the flowers on this one, the 2 flowers are kind of the same. And if you look at the flowers on this one, the 2 flowers also have the same pattern configuration, but they are different from the other ones. So I suspect that this is actually 3 little plants in there. One of them are already finished flowering. So they're not flowering at exactly the same time as well, which I guess is also a dead giveaway that this is 3 different plants in one pot, out of one pod probably. So I've just been trying to figure out the fragrance on this one, and it's quite fragrant this morning. It's kind of reminds me of when you walk into an Indian restaurant. It's kind of sweet, spicy, fragrant, really nice fragrance on this one. So yeah, it's a good one. Just a quick look at the speciosum, Phalaenopsis. It's coming to an end now, but this is also has quite a nice fragrance in the morning for me at least, not the whole day. And next to it, the Ludimaniana still going after a couple of months, I guess. It just keeps going for a very long time, this one. And another little white white hybrid here, which also has some fragrance too. And then above that, we've got the Maxillaria calculata still in bloom. This also has a really nice fragrance. It's like a spicy coconut type of fragrance. Perhaps it's quite similar to the Maxillaria tenuifolia, which is known as the coconut orchid, which I know a lot of people have. Yeah, perhaps the fragrance is quite similar, I'm not sure, but it's a really nice fragrance, quite unusual and distinctive.